We need a white guy, we need an Asian, we need somebody black, we need somebody kind of Hispanic looking, and we also need like maybe an Arab, but like not like a Arab, but like a safe and not gonna blow up a subway station Arab. We need one of those. So we can representation. So guys, a lot of the content that I cover on this channel has to do with, what the culture war seems to be these days. And there's nothing that is more part of the culture war, it seems, than this push and pull that's happening between the education system and the general public. What's happening between people who don't necessarily think that, sexuality should be taught to the extreme levels that's being taught in schools, at least not with the complete dismissal of biology that we've been seeing as of late. But that doesn't stop anyone. It hasn't slowed it down even. In fact, things are starting to ramp up. And maybe things aren't ramping up. Maybe it's just being more discovered these days. Maybe people are just being more vigilant. Maybe people are just being more hyper aware of the things that are being taught to their kids by these schools. And nothing has been more clear than that, than how things are being revealed on Twitter and on Instagram. And we have even more evidence now of this crazy stuff that's been happening. This is actually from a school in the state of Maryland. It's an elementary school, and they have multiple books that are discussing topics on gender identity, including the doctors guessing a baby's gender, and toddlers can know if they are transgender or not. They have a little book stand here. I guess this is at the school where they have an entire area carved out for it. Now, I'm not necessarily against, supporting the students that may be, gay or lesbian or have gay parents. I think that that's completely fair and reasonable to support them. I think it's a completely other thing to do this type of gender faux science that we continue to see, where doctors are guessing the gender identity or guessing their gender, because their gender's their gender. What's between their legs? That's not guessing, that's observing. Gender isn't identified, it's not assigned, it's observed. And here's some of the clips, I guess. Is this clips or cutouts? Or when Aiden was born, everyone thought he was a girl. His parents gave him a pretty name. His room looked like a girl's room, and he wore clothes that other girls liked wearing. You see how that's automatically confusing right out the gate? How small kids would be like, I don't know what's going on now. So they got this one of someone holding a baby. Also, you notice that these gender ideology books always have everyone is represented. It's always every race. It's everyone is we need a white guy, we need an Asian, we need somebody black, we need somebody kind of Hispanic looking, and we also need maybe an Arab, but not like a Arab, but like a safe and not gonna blow up a subway station Arab. We need one of those. So we can representation. But this one says, so when you were born, you couldn't tell people who you were and how you felt. They looked at you and made a guess. Maybe they got it right, maybe they got it wrong. That is on the assumption that this is some sort of 50-50 thing, like a coin flip. It really isn't, because it's 0.01% of the general population identifies as transgendered. So it's not a guess. We don't guess that slamming our head into the wall is going to hurt. We know that the likelihood by a humongous majority is that it is going to hurt. It's just a matter of to what degree it's going to hurt. Back to that Aiden kid, but Aiden didn't feel like any kind of girl. He was really another kind of boy. Okay. When people guess wrong, it's okay to let them know. Ruthie was 5 when she told her parents, I know you think I'm a boy, but really I feel like a girl. What does that mean, though? That's when you ask them, what does that mean? What does it mean that you feel like a girl? What does that mean? And then when they can't answer, then be like, exactly, go to your room, son. Think about what you've done. Oh, jeez. But these are the kind of books that they're putting in schools. And they don't tell people about them. And if they do, they're really vague about it. They're just like, we at this school, we choose to support the LGBTQ community and da da da. And it's hard when it's that vague for any reasonable human being to be like, that is terrible. How dare you? Especially if it's a public school. It's not like it's a Catholic school or, I mean, this stuff wouldn't happen at a Muslim school. We all know that. We all know that. Those people actually, they have principles and they stand by them. Unlike, people that are Christians, who just, 31 flavors of Jesus out there and none of them taste good, apparently. Nobody actually commits to it at all. But whatever. Where was I? Where was I before I went on this anti-Catholic Church rant? Where would the fuck? It's too early in the morning for this. It's breaking my brain. Oh, they don't tell parents. They don't tell parents about what they're doing in the schools. And now I think that because when the thing happened in 2020, when China struck, it kept everyone at home, right? So I guess it opened people up to being, you had to fill your time a bit. And I guess it allowed parents to get more involved with their kids because they weren't leaving to go to work. They weren't rushing out the door. They weren't getting exhausted by work. They were working from home if they were working at all. So they were constantly around their kids, interacting with them. Their kid was on the computer doing the schoolwork, so it was easier to see the schoolwork that was getting done in real time. So maybe that's what opened the floodgates a bit, is parents being able, based on the circumstances, to be more engaged, to be more involved. Not saying that there aren't a lot of parents that are involved and super engaged in their kids' work, but the actual small things, the little pieces that happen during the school day, it's hard to really know about those things. You kind of just know about the stuff they bring home, like the homework and stuff. Like, okay, what's your essay about? Well, my essay's about whatever I want it to be about. Well, what do you want it to be about? And it's just those things like that parents were used to. That was what was a really engaged parent, was kind of knowing what exactly their kid's homework was and maybe helping them out a bit with it. And then it became knowing each lesson and all the pieces of each module within each lesson. And then this is what happened. They started to go, hold on, wait, guessing? It's not. And then it became conservatives versus liberals and a bunch of hyper woke lefty parents and teachers going, there's nothing wrong with the sex. And then conservative parents, or I like to think mostly normal people, were like, I don't know if talking to my 4-year-old about eating pussy is a good idea. I don't think they need to know about that stuff yet. Maybe high school would be a good time to start, when they actually have some type of sexual identity that they can actually, mentally relate to, that they actually can somewhat understand because they've had all these years of development and they actually understand their feelings a bit more. Not like you really understand them when you get to high school, but you definitely have a better understanding of it than you do when you're in the first grade. I don't know why I feel like I have to say that, but there are apparently people out there. Some of them are parents, some of them are teachers, that think that when you're 4, you're old enough to make very permanent life decisions. But if you're left home alone, that's parental malpractice, child abuse. But if a kid came in, tatted, a 5-year-old showed up like that, everyone would lose their damn minds. But if you said that you were injecting them with something that blocked their biological development because trans, you're a hero. And you're parent of the year. But it's just another perfect example of what's going on in the education system in the United States. And for all my Canadian people out there, don't think that we're any better. We are far worse. We are far worse than this. It's just that our media is completely in bed with the government, and our government pretty much runs everything. So it's much harder for us to come out with these stories. The United States has a little bit more media freedom, significantly more media freedom. And think about how sad that is, because there isn't a whole lot of it in the United States either. But if you like this video, make sure to like it and then subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more content. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you're a parent, have you seen any of this stuff happen with your child's work in school? If you're a teacher out there, is this something that's being forced for you guys to participate in, or are you voluntarily participating in it? I want to know it all. I want it in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys with the next video.